Now, the dummy curve is really not meant to say you're a dummy. It's just a great illustrative purpose. Because when we first get started in whatever the industry is, we really don't know a lot, right? We talk about the people that have got, 10,000 hours in order to be an expert, and there's all these kind of generalizations. But when you start in any industry, regardless of what it is, you really don't know very much. So when you're meeting with someone and you really don't know very much, there's a very good chance that you and your prospect or customer are going to cooperatively arrive at the answers to the questions that they have. And there's a great story that I love to tell. This is probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I had an associate of mine, and he had a son, got out of college, really bright kid, right, very, very bright. And this was actually up in northern Michigan. And really bright kid, got out of college, really didn't know what he wanted to do. There really wasn't much opportunity in the field that he went to college for. But as he continued to send out resumes and stuff, finally his parents said, look, you got to kind of get a job. You got to get a job somewhere. And fortunately, the father, the associate that I had, was very kind of connected into the community, knew a lot of people. And one of the bigger employers in this small northern Michigan town was the local hardware store. Now, anyone who's been in any kind of a small town knows that the hardware store is kind of the hub of everything, because if you got a problem, that's eventually where you end up no matter what, whether it's parts or equipment or expertise or referrals or whatever it is. So went to his friend and said, listen, I've got a son, bright kid, graduated with honors, not really sure what he wants to do, but he's got some free time, looking for him to, get a job or something like that. What do you have? And he says, well, I'll tell you what, this was the end of the week. He says, have him come in on Monday morning. I'm sure there's something that we can do. Well, I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. That was nice of him, right? So goes home, you start on Monday. Monday gets up, right, puts on a tie, goes there, knocks on the door. They're not even open yet, by the way, because they don't open until 10. Guy comes to the door. He says, yep, I'm here. I'm supposed to get started. It's my first day. And the guy that owns the hardware store now remembers what he had said to his dad. Now, he didn't think anything about that, totally forgot about it. So now he says, well, listen, tell you what. Come on in. We just lost one of the guys that we had that was in our heater department. And I will tell you, portable heaters are a big deal in northern Michigan, especially at that time of year. So he said, kind of come in and you can, kind of be in the heater aisle. And if anybody comes in and has any questions about heaters, if you can kind of help them, I'd appreciate it, because we don't have anybody in that small appliance part of it. So store opens up. So he's kind of looking at the boxes and reading in the sides and stuff. And person comes in and says, I'm in need of a heater. Now, he doesn't know anything about heaters. And by the way, I'm going a long way to make a point. Doesn't know anything about heaters. So he starts asking questions. Well, how big is the place? Well, it's 500 square feet. Okay. All right. Do you want it to be electric? Do you want it to be kerosene? Do you want it to be propane? And basically because he didn't know anything, he just remembered the things that were on the boxes. And for that time, he walks up and down the aisles with that person. Basically, they're reading the boxes together, cooperatively. And the interesting thing about it, at the end of the week, when the owner of the company is reviewing all of the sales related to departments, the heater sales have jumped. Heater sales just jumped. And the only thing he could figure out was, this kid must be a super salesperson. And he figures if he's a super salesperson, he's going to go ahead and he's going to send him to heater school. So he picks the big heater manufacturer, and they're always doing training. He sends him over for a week to heater school, figuring if he's a super salesperson already, if he knows more about heaters, he's going to come back. He goes to heater school, comes back following Monday. First week he's back, right, 10 o'clock, store opens, little old lady comes walking in. And as soon as she comes in, she goes, I need a heater. And this kid cannot wait to spew all over her about all the amazing stuff that he knows about heaters. The BTUs and the size and the square footage and the ambient range and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of this 20-minute heater dissertation, the woman says, do you have something that would keep an old lady warm? Product knowledge used at the wrong time is actually more destructive than anything. And that's why when we say the dummy curve, I want you to act like a dummy. I want you to know everything there is to know about your product, your competitor's product, your service, the competitor's service, the industry. I want you to know everything about everything. I just don't want you to use it until the right time.